welcome. Megan, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. But let's get started. Let's do my drums intro real quick. All right. So, welcome to Let's Talk Ed, Professor Chris, LTE, where we explore the big questions about education, careers, and the future. And Megan, we have a new slogan. Most importantly, the show that is, you listening? Empowering minds, one episode at a time.
I love that.
Yeah. So now if I ask, the show that empowers mind, then you got to say,
One at a time.
one at a time, one episode at a time. You got it. Great. So, welcome to LT. It's a lot to discuss today. Very excited. I think some of you are going to be surprised that I pulled tie today. I'm not a big tie person. I don't know. I was telling Megan, I just felt like dressing up a little bit, and I pulled the tie, and it's like 90 degrees out there. So if it's not it's not tied, but I just felt like a tie today. All right. Megan, on the other hand, is a casual Friday for Megan.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm over in a t-shirt and leggings, but you can't see me, so that's
Good.
a nice perk of being behind the camera.
There you go. Great. Our topic today is going to be, is your college degree worth it? As we promised. So let's get right to it. But before we do that, Megan, I have great news. You ready?
I'm ready. What's the great news?
We just hit 10,000 subscribers.
It's fantastic news.
Yeah.
Fantastic news.
Yeah. If we have people here, we'll have them cheering and clapping
Yay.
for us, right? Unfortunately, YouTube wants us to get 100,000.
Oof, so we got a ways to go.
But I'm very, very optimistic though. I think 100,000 is great. We're going to enjoy that. We'll celebrate that right now. And I think we're doing good. And like I said, thanks to all our folks who are now excited. Hopefully they subscribe. Now we can get our students to subscribe as well.
Yep. Again, one at a time.
Again, one at a time. I like that. Empowering minds one at a time. That's great. All right. So let's get to today's topic. We're talking about, is your college degree worth it? Is your college degree worth it? And if you're wondering, there's actually 2 out of 5 Americans don't see the value in their college degree. That is we're looking about 53 million Americans aren't sure about their college degree if it was worth the money.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. So I'm gonna, Megan, you ready?
I'm ready.
You can give it a short answer. We'll get into a little more detail, but is your college degree worth it?
My short answer is yes. I'll give an explanation later, but
Okay.
that's my short answer.
Okay. All right. And I'm sure everybody's like, what about me? Is my college degree worth it? I have a twist to my college degree, but we'll get to that as well too, since Megan is not giving you anything yet. All right. So before we get into, it looks like it's going to be obvious that we're just going to say, yes, college degree is worth it. But we're going to be very practical too, to discuss why people don't think that's the case. And we'll go back and forth on that. All right. So when I saw this, I'm like, okay, let's find out why 2 in 5 Americans don't think the value in their college degree is worth it. And I said, Megan, I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons the 5 reasons why those 2 out of 5 think that college degree is not worth it. But to you, if you had to guess, and again, I know you're behind the camera, you're not going to be able to Google, what would you think the number 1 reason will be for why Americans don't think their college degree is worth it?
And I did not Google this just
Okay.
because I wanted to make a genuine guess.
Sure.
And I wanted to see what the actual reasons were.
Yep.
And I think partially my guess is based on my own experience, but I think a lot of it has to do with debt to income ratio.
Oh.
So students are leaving college, a lot of them with a significant amount of student debt. And a lot of times they're starting out in roles that are not making a lot of money. So unless you start out making a decent living or until you get to that point, I can totally understand why people would question the value of their degree, because they're not seeing that return of investment quite yet.
And you didn't Google this?
I didn't Google it. It's truly just based on my experience. I'll talk about it later, but
Nice.
I can relate partially
Yeah.
to the 2 out of 5. So is this
Okay.
that's one of the 5?
Okay, here we go. Drum roll. Number 1, top 5 reasons why people don't think their college degree is worth it. I am not using my degree. 40%. I am not using my degree. 40%. I'll post those numbers on the PowerPoint on the podcast once we finish doing it. Second is I can't find a job in that field. Number 3. Number 2, I can't find a job in that field. 28.2%. I change careers. 13.13. I dropped out of college. Sorry, I'm going out of order here. Number 3, I changed careers. 13.13. Number 4, I dropped out of college. 12.12. And number 5, I changed degrees. 6.0. I have a lot to say about this here, but I'm not sure if we have the time to go each one of them. But what would you say? I think it's a good reason why people will question if their degree was worth it.
I
based
agree.
on this stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So maybe in between here, we'll kind of see, like I said, I could do each one of this here. It could be a complete episode that we do. But for the sake of time, just pointing out the reasons why people don't think their college degree is worth it. Now, I have kind of a very interesting situation because for most of the students that I talk to, it usually comes from the entertainment angle, either movies, but I think sometimes students forget that you still need some college if you want to go in those areas.
Right.
Right. Most of our college, even in sports, opportunities still comes from you going. I don't care even if you do 1 year college, right? It's a college that provides that opportunity. Okay. So usually I hear a lot from students that, I'm going to go play sports, or I'm going to be an entertainer. So why go to college? But okay. So that was kind of, your guesses were right on point. I was completely off the top 5. I was like, well, no, it's got to be some sporting or entertainment activities, why people would think so. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did pretty good. All right. So talking about that, I'm talking about sports and just kind of want to caution our students a little bit on the expectation. And I have always told my students, I'm not here to kill anyone's dreams, but I also believe that you got to be a little more practical. So when I say that is the expectation that some of my students have about, and again, I've been in institutions, I've been in a D1 institution where, the expectation is pretty high. I'm at a D1 school, I should be able to kind of make it to the pros. Okay. So usually, that comes up, and the percentages that I have on here, 1.6%. Okay, I'm taking football as an example. You look at football, it's like 70,000 at any given year, right, across the nation. Only 16,000 of those happen to be draft eligible. Okay, and then they go on the draft. You got only 250, and then those that go to pro, out of that is 1.6%. I'm not going to go through all this here because guess what? Next episode, we're talking about student athlete, and we're going to have a special guest here.
Exciting.
I am excited. So we'll stay tuned for next week on that, but let's get into today's topic, okay? I kind of used this the last time when we did a little, that's your college degree aspire, I kind of use the same statement. We spend years and years and years of hard work on college degrees and money, lots of it, right? And then at the end, we do ask, is it worth it? So the purpose, just in case, we're into almost 10 minutes of our episode and it's like we're just about to start, right? We're going to want to discuss the value of college degree in today's world. We're going to look at cost, we're going to look at career outcomes, and we're going to look at personal fulfillment. It's like, does college degree really fulfill anything personal in your life? We'll get to that. All right, so Megan, you got to be honest with me though. And this is kind of where, when I asked the question, I kind of paused a little bit. So, has it ever crossed your mind to ask if your college degree was worth it?
It has.
Okay.
Do you want my long answer or just my short, yes, it has?
Let's go. Let's do
Okay.
a long one this time, yeah.
I would say in the first few years after I graduated, it definitely did. I mentioned in the last episode, if you haven't seen it, I was expecting a child shortly after I graduated. So I just needed to find a secure job. And I was not making a lot of money when I first graduated. So it was really hard for me to see the value at that time just because, I wasn't getting much out of it. So I questioned if I was in the right field, if I should be doing something else. I questioned if that $40,000+ in debt I had was worth it. So not so much now because I feel good about where I'm at, but definitely in the beginning I did.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest.
Oh, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Transparency.
Yes. So, yes, in my case, right, and all my career in the industry and academia, I think my question came when actually I was in the industry, things weren't going too bad and decided to go into academia. I took a big hit financially. And yes, to push that much work into a dream, a vision, of what I want to become an engineer, and then to realize that, oh wow, I'm in academia now. Am I really using that degree? I did question a little bit, but I don't regret a minute of where I am today if it wasn't for that move. So yes, again, we're being transparent. Yes, I did question that degree at some point. So again, thank you. All right. Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
So let's talk about rate of investment. Basically, I know you got about 40,000.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
I hope to one day have an episode where I can talk about how much less it is.
One day. I'm looking forward to that too. So the question is, and we get these questions, I think even our parents do ask this question. I spent all this money to put you through college. Now you don't even call me on the weekends to see how I'm doing.
Right, just forgot about me.
Yeah. So, is your college, so the question really is the return of investment. Do you think your degree is really giving you back, what you're doing? And in a short form, do you think your college degree is paying the bills?
Now, I feel like, again, that's kind of expanded on that first question, but in the beginning, no, definitely not. I was not getting a return on my investment. But I think the longer I'm in it, the more experience I've gained and, changing jobs here and there, that has finally gotten me to a point where I feel like I can answer that with a yes.
Good. All right. So because we're doing the numbers, some statistics for students to reflect on, or anyone for that matter that's watching. How much more do college degrees earn compared to non-graduates? Because yes, it's very tempting when we're asking that question, is your college degree worth it? Usually we're looking at the return of investment. College graduates are half as likely to be unemployed as their peers who only have a high school degree. Typically for bachelor's degree holders, you're making about 40,000 a year, or 86%, right? That is 86% higher than those whose highest degree is a high school. So again, fact, right? 86%. Now, college graduates on an average will be making $1.2 million more over the lifetime. Facts. So I know usually when we're looking at our degrees, of course, we all go into the various degrees with the expectation of a better life to make more money. I have to remind students sometimes that it's not all about the money. You have to make sure whatever degree you're pursuing, you're going to like it, right, at some point. But again, those are the facts. So overall, I've said in previous episodes that everywhere you go, the system is designed, the system is built, right? It's a feeder. So we have all these corporations, they operate on the college system, right? So the college system has been designed to feed into this different areas, which is why I go back to my 1% or my 1% of students who always want to go into the pros. And I said, I have nothing against you going to the pros. I just want you to have a plan B. What is that plan B? Because if you don't make it, you got to make sure your college is worth it. So do something else, right? Okay. So anyway, those are the numbers. And yeah, so on the same, I get the same question. Or I actually get people saying, well, I know so-and-so didn't go to college, but they're doing great. Bill Gates, which people forget, he did get some college, right? People go back to Steve Jobs, and I said, yeah, he did get some college before starting the business in his garage, right? So yeah, but every now and then, and again, not to take away from you can't succeed if you don't go to college, it's just the 86% opportunity of those who go to college will get something, right? And so, okay. In your current situation, with what you're currently doing, or maybe do you know anyone that is doing what you're doing that didn't get a college degree that is making more than you're making?
Not that I know personally, but I work in marketing and communications, and a lot of what I do is social media management, content creation. So instantly when I think of that, I feel like people automatically think of like influencers and like content creators. There's a lot of them that probably didn't go to college and are making a lot more than I make, but I feel like that's also a very rare situation. A lot of people see that and they think that's such an ideal lifestyle, but they're probably, again, with the entertainment, they're in that very tiny percentage of people.
Good. So good point made.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So take it, leave it, showed you the numbers on, what a college could do to you, the advantage that college will have. Industries, right? Industries look at, or they're looking for, I haven't seen any industry post in a position without some college requirements.
Right.
Interesting enough, you mentioned social media and those influencers. I guarantee you, if something opened up in Hollywood or anything about social media open up, there is going to be some requirements there, right? That will say, have you got some experience to do this? What degree have you got? So I always feel like that plays a big role. All right, another statistics I have here is in 2021, about 86% of all jobs required at least some post-secondary education. By 2031, we will estimate that 72% of those jobs will require post-secondary education or training. And in fact, 42% of all those jobs will require at least a bachelor's degree. Fact. All right. Now, we're looking beyond the financial consideration. It cannot all be about the money, right? There's got to be something more to a degree, even though that's kind of always the initial intention for most. But it's got to be more than that. All right. So, again, we talk about the monetary benefits. Deep down, are you doing what you like to do? Is it satisfying? Is it what you expected? How has that impacted your life? Okay. Megan, how proud are you of your college degree?
I'm really proud of both of my degrees that I have, my bachelor's and my master's.
You're not saying that with excitement.
Okay, let me finish my story then. Let me say it.
Yes.
I'm very proud of it.
There you go.
And money aside, I worked really hard to overcome challenges to be able to say that I have those degrees.
Right.
And I'm proud to work in the industries that I work in, both higher ed and marketing. And I'm passionate about both of them. And I get to come to work every day and do something that I love to do. So to me, that makes me proud to have the degrees that I have.
I'm happy you said that. Are you really honest about looking forward to Mondays to go to work?
I am, because, people talk about Sunday scaries. You're always like, oh, I have to go to work tomorrow. I've felt that before in jobs, and I think that's how I knew deep down that, like, I haven't quite made it yet to where I want to be if I'm feeling the Sunday scaries. Not that those are terrible, but I know how they feel, and I truly, genuinely do not feel that way now because I really do love what I do.
That's great. I'm being a little transparent here as well. I have been blessed to work for 3 different companies before going to academia. And once again, there were some of those weekends where I'm like, Sunday is here, but all that changed when I got into academia, honestly. And I think it was the impact of, I'm excited to see my students. I'm just so excited to go knowing that if I don't show up, my students will be excited there's no class, right? But I always was looking forward to, getting up Monday morning to go to work. So yes, I'm happy you shared that as well. All right, so I think I already touched on this a little bit in terms of, career, personal development. For me, I've always kind of found myself in a situation where I just feel like I just got to keep proving myself a little bit. And, I bring this up because I would do anything and I did everything to kind of get to where I am. And I feel, again, right now, so I do have a doctorate, okay? And I'm like, okay, that's great. In my current position with what I'm doing, and even before I got a doctorate, I just felt like, yeah, I could do what I was doing with my master's, but I also know that if I didn't pursue that, I probably wouldn't be here where I am today. So I bring that up to say kind of my personal development with my degrees has been a little bit challenging, but at the same time, I didn't go gung-ho on, I don't like college, and I still pursue college. It's gotten me to where I am today. So there has been some personal satisfaction in addition to that satisfaction. And I know my industry friends, and by the way, to my students who always think, now I'm against industry, I'm like, I'm not. I'm actually trying to put students in industry. So there's no way I'm against industry, but I have to also paint the picture. Is at the end of the day, you got to pick what it is that you want to do. I know it's very hard when I say this, but I tell students, forget about the money for a second, because you absolutely want to go to work. You want to feel like you want to wake up to go to work, like somebody said. You want to enjoy your work so it doesn't become work anymore, right?
I agree.
Okay. All right, let's take a quick break. All right, very good job. Let's take a quick break. I'll get a little water break here and we'll be right back to it. Hello, I am Professor Chris, the founder and host of Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris. College can be one of the most enjoyable and memorable times in your life. After almost 3 decades of different college experiences, I have done, seen, or heard just about everything there is to experience in college life. I draw these experiences from the whole spectrum of educational institutions. These experiences are drawn from my years as a student and many other years as an instructor, a professor, director, a department head, and a dean. But most importantly, the relationship I have built over the years with current and former students as an advisor and mentor, collecting a wealth of knowledge and understanding about college life.
My name is Natalie. I've known Professor Chris for over 10 years. He's definitely given me a lot of great advice.
I ended up completing my engineering degree and went on to pursue a master's. Professor Chris was one of the first people I knew I could count on to help me with that, and he wrote me a letter of recommendation.
Professor Chris has served as a mentor, guiding me through my educational experience.
I really think that I am where I am as a professional engineer, partly because of him. I could not say enough good things about Professor Chris.
One thing that has always stuck with me was how he translated every textbook problem to a real-life problem. Professor Chris, you are a true asset to the academic community, and I wish you to keep up with the excellent job you're providing. Whether you are a student, a staff member, an instructor, or an administrator at a college, you can visit my website at Let's Talk Ed to request a speaking engagement for a small or large group of students, where I provide strategies for the most enjoyable and memorable times in your college and how to navigate college successfully. I am looking forward to connecting with you all in person soon.
All right, welcome back. Took a little break. We're back now, so let's get to it. We've talked about college. We've talked about, is it worth it? We're all college, pro-college, right? So, but I've had discussion. With people that have actually gotten a college degree that didn't feel like it was worth it, and we've had debates. And at the end of the day, we agree to disagree, right? It's kind of the way I like to put it. But at the end of the day, I just feel like we get to a point where we know that it is worth it in many different ways. Okay, who doesn't want to see their kids go through college? We all kind of want to do that. So then the question becomes, if you don't go to college, what are your options? I think it's very interesting that every time that question comes up, and Megan, you could go back and Google, what options do I have without a college degree? You know what comes up?
I have no idea.
What is going to come up is actually one of my favorite areas, which is going to be a whole different episode, because somehow people don't think the technical skills or the building skills, that's what you're going to see as your option if you don't get a college degree. Isn't community college part of college?
I was going to say, even though you probably would learn about that at a community college, some technical skills.
Yes. So I'm going to do a whole section. We're going to do a whole section with community college experience, and we're going to be talking about that. But it's a topic that I want to get into. But I do want to point out that, again, we're making a case for college, because even the options that are out there that are saying, well, if you don't get a college degree, this is what you could do, is 85% pointing you in the direction of some technology program, some skilled trades program. So just kind of want to put that out there. Okay. But since we're talking about that, first of all, Megan, can you see yourself without a college degree?
No.
Okay. And are you saying no because it wasn't even an option with your parents?
Partially, yes.
Okay.
I was not given a choice. They were like,
Okay.
you're going to college. We want you to have a better life.
Okay.
And so I just was thrown into it. Okay. But looking back and seeing where I am now, I have no idea where I would be if I did not have a college degree. Okay.
Now let me ask the other question. Let's just play pretend here for a second. Let's just say you did not go to college. You did not get a college degree. What do you think you would be doing?
Gosh, I truly don't know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, though, is because college helped me figure out what I was good at. It helped me figure out what I loved. So really, like, when I was leaving high school, I had not a clue, like, who I was, what I was good at. And so not to put another plug in for college, but, like, I learned all of that through that experience. So the only thing I can even, like, think of, I have two things, but I feel like going back, they're both still things that would benefit from either some college classes or some type of course. I would say either like freelance photography or real estate, because I worked at a real estate law firm and I was super interested in that. Okay. However, I think some sort of business degree would be helpful for that. Photography, some sort of communication classes would be helpful for that. So not to put in another plug for college, but even the two things I could think of still would have benefited from a college experience.
By the way, you just stole my closing statement.
I took it from you, sorry.
You did. You did. But right on point. I asked myself the same question. I'm like, what would I have done? I love baking. I grew up in a bakery. My aunt had a bakery. And my dream still is someday when I retire to have a little bakery. So that was the only thing I could think of if I did it. But once again, even if it was going to be that, I still have to take some culinary classes, right, to get all the little tricks, which really, again, puts me back into college. So again, we're putting a plug for college, but it's a good start. And like I said, you stole my closing remarks, which are, okay. All right, so we're getting ready to wrap this up here. This has been a great episode, by the way. what are some of the reasons this question keeps coming up again? I'm looking at some challenges and criticisms that we have here. And number one, like you said, Megan, right off the bat, it comes down to debt, right?
Yep.
When you really look at your degree and you're looking at the return of investment, and you're looking at that, that will probably push you to, ask that question. So yes, we get that part. Another challenge also could be now you get your degree and you're not able to find anything in that field, right? It could be challenging. And yes, the other challenge is all these different trends now when it comes to college. I don't see it as kind of a challenge, and I'm getting right into where the future of education is, right? I will be the first, and people have asked me this here, I said, I'll be the first person to tell you that our college system needs work.
Yes.
By far, right? Students always argue or, why do I have to take this? Why do I have to take this? I want to just do this. Why can't I just do this? Okay. So there are things that we need to work on when it comes to our college. So I get that. Trends are changing. I already did an episode on what to think about as you're thinking about college. So hopefully you don't get to the point where you're questioning the worthiness of your degree. So again, we'll get into some advice here. I'll leave mine for the closing. But Megan, what is your advice for future students deciding to go to college? I think you've made a point that they should go to college.
Yes. And the advice that I'm about to say is advice I've actually had to give to somebody, my brother.
Okay.
He was in college, but really was second guessing it. So this is exactly what I said to him. Yeah. Everybody's situation and everybody's journey is unique. Okay. So you know yourself better than anyone else. So if you truly do not think that college is for you, this is something you said earlier. Yeah. You just need to have a plan. You need to have a plan B. Yeah. You need to do your research. You need to zone in on what it is you want out of your life. Right. However,
yes,
I truly think.
I like however.
However,
yes, it almost sounds like a bat.
Yes. Yeah. However, I truly do think that college is a beneficial experience for everyone. I know so many people who don't even work in the field that they studied in college, which could be a whole other topic in and of itself. Yeah. But the fact that they have a degree either got them in the door at a company or got them the job that they have currently. Right. So a college degree in and of itself can take you very far.
Great.
And I'll leave it at that.
Great. My closing is the one that you stole, which I'm going to reiterate again, is college. Is really, if nothing, at the end of the day, college gives you the opportunity to find out what you don't even want to do. Mm-hmm. So last episode and previous episodes, I said this before, it happens all the time. I have students getting ready to graduate on graduation day. When students are looking for Professor Chris just to have their parents say thank you to Professor Chris. When I'm trying to run out of graduation to take off that black robe that is like 80 degrees under there. So I'm rushing to my office to take it off. I see students chasing me down and they all say thank you. And sometimes I can see it on some of the faces of my students. And I'm like, what's wrong? It's graduation day. You should be excited. And then I pull them to the side and lo and behold, I know what is coming. And they would tell me, Professor Chris, thank you. It's been a pleasure, but I don't think this is what I wanted to do. It breaks my heart, but I've always kind of shared this with them as well. And I would say, at the very minimum, this is not what you wanted to do, but college is giving you the opportunity, right, to figure things out. You can always come back. We'll talk about next steps and what you could do with your degree and figure out some options. So like Megan, like you said, it does give you the opportunity to figure out what it is that you want to do or not. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Remember, the value of a college degree is as unique as each individual's journey, like you said. Tune in next time as we continue to explore the evolving landscape of education and careers. Until then, stay curious. What is our slogan, Megan? Empowering minds.
One episode at a time.
Perfect. With that, the other thing I always share with the students is don't drink beer, live beer, which means balance, eat well. What's my other E?
You forgot
Exercise.
the other E
I did
last
it
time,
last
too.
time.
We're gonna
Not
have
this
to
time.
practice.
Not this time. And rest. So once again, we're empowering minds.
One episode at a time.
You remember that? Don't drink beer, live beer, balance, eat well, exercise, rest, or relax. Great episode. Good job.
See you next time.
See you next time. Good.